Are we recording now? Oh my God, guys, I have breaking news. Breaking news. Get in here, Schultze. Breaking news.
Hey, what?
I'm watching football. Hit the button. Welcome to the Fantasy Forecast with Greinberg and Biggs. I am Biggs. He is Greinberg.
Yeah.
You're watching the Fantasy Sports Advice Network, Fantasy Football Advice Network. I don't know what we're calling it these days, but I'm wearing the merch. Guess who looks like a manager? This guy. We're talking about gems today. We're looking for second-year gems, rookie gems. We're talking about guys who are good. They're good. It's like a gem. Like if you've ever gone spelunking and you're in a cave and you find a gem, that's what we're doing. We're spelunking and we're finding gems. So the first one that I want to talk about, I don't know if you could tell by the background, but I'm a fan of the Las Vegas Raiders, and the Raiders found themselves a gem when tight end from Georgia, rookie Brock Bowers, fell into their lap at the 13th draft spot. He is an absolute smash. Now, he has the fourth lowest breakout age among tight ends and wide receivers in the rookie class. You know how important breakout age is? It's very important. He also had the second fastest 40 time among all of the rookie tight ends. His time in the 40 was exactly the same as Blake Corum. Did you know that? It was also better than Keon Coleman, Javon Baker, and Taj Washington, who is apparently going to be returning kicks for the Miami Dolphins. Brock Bowers is an athletic freak, and he's going to be a gem in your fantasy leagues. My next one is going to be quarterback of the Carolina Panthers, Bryce Young. Oh, I know what you're saying. Bryce Young was a bust. He was the first pick taken in the 2023 NFL draft, and he didn't do crap. Well, guess what? Bryce Young is a competitor. He was at Alabama, and yeah, there were some things that I didn't like about his profile. He's a little bit small and whatever. But he does know how to quarterback a team, and all he needed was some help and not to be on a Frank Reich team. And guess what happened over the offseason? Frank Reich gone. Enter new system. Who is that new system? Dave Canales, the quarterback whisperer, the quarterback revivalist. He resurrected the career of Geno Smith. He resurrected the career of Baker Mayfield. And guess what he's going to do for Bryce Young? Bryce Young is ranked right now behind Bo Nix. What? Behind Will Levis, behind Geno Smith, and behind Justin Fields, who's not even a starting quarterback. Dave Canales is there. They brought over target monster Diontae Johnson. Adam Thielen has always been a reliable receiver. He's in the slot. Jonathan Mingo and Xavier Legette are two young guys, Mingo being a second-year guy, who can do some weird things. They can be like Swiss Army knife guys, and Jatavion Sanders rounds out the weapons room for Bryce Young. Bryce Young has a much better year, and if you are looking at drafting a second quarterback, don't draft Bo Nix, Will Levis, or Geno, or Justin Fields. Draft Bryce Young. He's a gem.
The gem. And then Schultze, I don't know. After that year that Bryce Young had, I had words coming right out of this guy's mouth. He used to call him Bust Young, and now he's done a full 180 on this guy. What do you got to say? Are you on his side on this one? I tend to agree with him on this one. Are you making this a threesome?
Ooh, baby, I am. You know it. Dave Canales' biggest factor here, right? Like, the proof's in the pudding. Took two dudes who hadn't looked that good, boom, turned them into productive dudes, right? So that's one of the biggest reasons I'm in. But he also mentioned one Diontae Johnson, and we got to bring Johnson to the party, right? That's what I'm saying. So this dude gets separation. Bryce Young's receivers last year, no separation. They were like, I want to say they only average like 1.6 yards of separation or something. I had that in a note when we did a bit about Diontae a while ago, but I don't remember it exactly. Anyways, Panthers receivers, no separation. Diontae, lots of separation.
Oh my God, you guys! I'm watching the new kickoff. This is crazy.
Did you see what happened before that? Cam Akers caught a touchdown pass. And with that, I'm out.
Cam Akers got a touchdown pass in the Hall of Fame game. Yeah. All right. Well, this kickoff is not all it's cracked up to be for the Scott Fishbowl initiated. Give me 2 gems, Mike. Who are 2 gems that you're looking at?
Well, I'm going to start with one of the gems that I had a lot more confidence headed into before today, because we just got word that DeAndre Hopkins, suffered an injury today. He's going to be out for, I think, 6 to 8 weeks. So that's a hefty loss for the.
So Treylon Burks is a gem. Woo, pig suey.
He could be right along here now that you say that. Big.
1 year too late. Knock it off.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about Will Levis, and I still think he has some upside this year as a gem for 2024. He's got some strong support. We talked about this already. Calvin Ridley coming over. Also now Tyler Boyd. They have a good offensive system around him to, give him some tools. I know that DeAndre Hopkins now is not there anymore, but before that injury, there was a lot of optimism here. He's got better surroundings. And he's got better coaching this year as well. Brian Callahan, who helped develop Joe Burrow, is now coaching Will Levis. His expertise will be crucial in his development. I didn't think he's just got some good value. He is a starting quarterback in the league. And at quarterback 20, he's worth a dart throw later on in these drafts. And he could definitely turn into a gem with his rushing upside. And now a guy that I'm going to talk about, and I've talked about him in length already, and that's Jayden Daniels. He is going to be a gem, a rookie gem in 2024. We talked about how much he's got an asset with his legs, but he's also that dual threat where he's got great passing ability as well. 3,800 yards passing, 1,200 yards rushing last season, and 50 touchdowns. That was insane. So we're talking about a great track record. He's going to make immediate impact in an RPO-focused run offense, and he's got really high upside. His draft value, another thing flying under the radar, which means he's a steal at his current ADP, going around quarterback 16 in redraft leagues. And I would be waiting to pair him up with a seasoned veteran later on in drafts. And I just think that he could be a game change winner. So Jayden Daniels is ready to shine in 2024. His dual threat ability, great offensive system, strong supporting cast, and undervalued draft status makes him a must-have for fantasy gamers looking for a breakout rookie. Grab him and get ahead of the competition now, Biggs. What are your thoughts on Jayden Daniels? I know you like him a lot. Are you still pretty high on him after, the first reports coming out of training camp?
Absolutely. I am so in on Jayden Daniels. I always have been, and I'm drafting him everywhere that I can at this point. I do want to push back a little bit on Will Levis.
Willis.
I don't know if you recall this because I know it was a long time ago. It was like
last show. It was last week. I know.
But I pointed out that Will Levis was like QB in the 30s, and if you doubled his production, he becomes a QB 20 or 21. That's not draftable. So let us know in the comments and go to Fantasy Sports Advice Network. Create an account if you haven't already, and somebody start a chat and answer the question: Will Levis, my do not draft, Mike Lindbergh's gem, who's right? Let us know over at the Fantasy Sports Advice Network.
Let's do that. Right. I absolutely. I think that's a great idea. And let's get some Discord going there. It's a great opportunity to showcase the website. So it's great. Good call, Biggs. Let's do it.
And I got a little message for everybody real quick. Are you ready to take your fantasy sports game to the next level? Welcome to the Fantasy Sports Advice Network. We are your ultimate destination for everything fantasy and sports gaming. Embrace a new era. Escape the noise and the negativity of fantasy sports, Twitter, and Reddit. Say goodbye to the bots. Say goodbye to the ads, except for this one. Welcome to a space where genuine sports talk thrives. Immerse yourself in a new era of fantasy sports discussions where quality insights and pure enthusiasm reign supreme. Elevate your fantasy experience and join us on this exciting journey. We have comprehensive coverage across all sports, from football to basketball and baseball and beyond. We've got all your favorite games covered. Whether you're a hardcore enthusiast or a casual player, there is something at FSAN for everyone. We have interactive features, rich content selection. You can discover polls, league classifieds, tailor your feed with top-tier content from our creators like me and Greinberg and Schultze and Dan and Brian and Tyler. Lots of us. Chad and there's so many. Articles are there, videos are there, podcasts are there, and they're all conveniently at your fingertips. We offer expert insights and rewards. Boost your game with expert advice from us. Earn points. Receive rewards for your sports expertise. Your insights will make a real impact at FSAN. You connect with the community. It's a vibrant community of like-minded fans. Share your draft strategies. Discuss winning tactics. Dominate fantasy leagues together. Join the revolution, baby. More than just a network. We're a dynamic team driven by passion and knowledge. Join us today and unleash your fantasy sports potential. Visit the Fantasy Sports Advice Network now and download our app to start your winning streak.
Nicely done. Although sometimes I think it's Brian can be a little bit too much, but other than that, I think you nailed it there.
So much, Brian. So much, Brian. All right. So let's get to my spotlight. Boo, shining the spotlight. I think it's funny that so far we've talked about 4 guys. Now I'm going to talk about a 5th, and 5 out of 5 they've got a new regime this year. Brock Bowers has a holdover with Antonio Pierce, but new offensive coordinator, and Antonio Pierce is the first full season head coach. Bryce Young, new regime. Your guys, new regimes. And Drake Maye, new regime in New England. Okay, let's talk about Drake Maye for a second. Drake Maye is a 6'5", 220-pound quarterback, drafted by the New England Patriots, and he was a sophomore breakout. He declared in his 3rd year. Both of those things are indicators of NFL success. In his sophomore year, he threw for over 4,300 yards in 14 games. He would have been QB4, right? That would have been ranked him 4th in total passing yards in the NFL last year. He had 5,219 yards over 17 games based on his average. That's better than Herbert as a rookie. He also added 38 touchdowns and only 7 interceptions on 66% passing completions. Now, 1,150 yards and 16 touchdowns rushing over 2 years. 700 yards rushing in 14 games as a sophomore. That would have put him second behind only Lamar Jackson in the NFL in 2023. Josh Allen was QB1 in fantasy last year. He threw for fewer yards, rushed for fewer yards, threw fewer touchdowns, and threw more interceptions than Drake Maye did when Drake Maye was a sophomore. And he played 3 more games to do it. Now, I understand we're talking college versus the NFL. Is he going to match Allen's numbers as a rookie in New England? No, he's not. But his ceiling is extremely high, and he's a gem. Boom. Look for Drake Maye to link up with his wide receiver targets this year and carry you to a championship.
Drake Maye it is. And then just a matter of him getting into the lineup early enough to get those reps. I know there's some talk about Jacoby Brissett starting the year there. What's your hearsay say on?
Drake Maye is winning the job right now.
Okay, so it's going to happen, and Biggs is really big on him. So, take the discount while it's there, because as soon as he's declared the starter, that's going to, jump up. So get the inside track, because big things are on the horizon, it looks like. All right, so my gem here, and that's the second year gem. I'm going to be talking here about Dalton Kincaid. He showed promise his rookie season. Yes, he finished as the tight end 11 with 73 receptions, 673 yards, and just 2 touchdowns. Despite being in the shadow of veteran Dawson Knox, Kincaid's potential is undeniable. With the Bills undergoing significant changes this offseason, including the departure of Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis, Kincaid is poised to become one of the central figures in that Bills passing attack. This makes him one of the most exciting tight end picks in 2024. He truly shined when Knox was sidelined with that wrist injury. He averaged 7.4 targets, 6.5 catches per game, and over a 5-game stretch. He also scored both of his touchdowns during that stretch as well, proving his ability to excel when given a larger role. Even though his numbers dipped when Knox was on the field, Kincaid flashes brilliance to indicate the potential to be a fantasy asset with increased opportunities. Yes, Kincaid and Knox will be splitting, snaps on that field, but that's going to open things up. It's going to put Kincaid in more of a slot-heavy role, which is going to add targets to his game. The Bills' revamped roster is now looking towards a guy like Kincaid to shine. Though his rookie year saw him finish 23rd in snap share and 13th in route participation, he excelled in games where he was more involved, and that's what's going to happen in 2024. While Sam Laporta may garner more attention last season, Kincaid's numbers were still impressive given his limited snap share, and the Bills are going to be giving him the ball often and early. He's set to shine in year 2 with an expanded role and strong rapport with Josh Allen, making him a high upside pick who could easily crack the top tight end ranks in fantasy football in 2024. And his ADP is reflecting that already. It's starting to get up there, but he could easily finish as a top 5 tight end in 2024 with that opportunity alone.
Absolutely. I think with this new era of tight ends, I think there's going to be a lot of top 5 fluctuation. You're not going to have this phenomenon where there's 3 guys who occupy the top 5 every year. I think there's going to be a lot of like bouncing guys in and out of the top 5, sometimes at the 2, sometimes at the 1, sometimes at the 7. It's going to be Sam Laporta and Dalton Kincaid and Brock Bowers and Isaiah Likely. And, like all these guys are going to be like switching positions year over year. It's going to be really hard to get a read on, but there are so many more top 10 tight ends now than there used to be. So love the Kincaid pick, Mike. Good job.
Thanks.
That's going to do it for us at the Fantasy Forecast with Greenberg and Biggs on the Fantasy Football Advice Network. Thank you for watching on YouTube. Follow us, like, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Type into Google Fantasy Sports Advice Network. Download the app. Get involved in the community. It's what we're doing. We're building a community. Also, not breaking news because we talked about it before, but exactly 1 week from tonight, Mike and I are going to be landing in Cleveland, Ohio to go to the Fantasy Football Expo in Canton, Ohio. We're part of the panel on Sunday that'll be talking about redraft leagues, and we'll be at the FSAN booth 1 in the booth hall. I'm a booth. And I'm going to be in the booth, and we would love to see you there. Come by and say, hey, I watch the Fantasy Forecast because we don't know who you are. So, other than that, you got anything to say, Greinberg?
Oh, I'm excited to meet you for the first time, buddy. It's going to be the best time.
So good. And we hope you win.
Hope you win.
Next time.